Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Tuesday Talks with Opie. I am your host, Opie, and today's segment is based on getting to know me. I want to invite you into my world and answer some of your questions that you may have been curious about. Who is Opie? What does she do? How does she do it? And why is she even here? So I am so excited to be doing this segment today. But before we even dive into the questions, I just want to say thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for liking. Thank you so much for commenting and your feedbacks. All those things are so important to me because they make me become a better person. I have been learning from each episode that I've been doing. How do I get to understand my guests better, and how do I provide better questions? Because I want to create interesting content for you as well. I want your experience to be enjoyable, and I want you to gain something from it. So every feedback I get, every response, and your criticism is so important to me. So I just want to say thank you to those who have taken their time to listen by watching on Instagram or listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, whatever channel that you use to watch it. I am so grateful for all the support that you've been giving me so far. So before we get into it, I just want to say thank you. So now to why you're here. I have a list of the questions right here in this book. I wrote them down and we're just going to get right into it. So let's open this book and find out what's in here. So I actually have a list of 14 questions asked, and it's not in any particular order, but I believe the first one I should actually go, answer is the one that asks, how do I pronounce my name? So let's get into it. My full name is Opiyemi Ifefore. Now that is the answer that I usually give most people. However, there is a Nigerian or Yoruba pronunciation of my name, and my first name is actually pronounced Okpeyemi. However, a lot of people do have difficulty in pronouncing the P part of my name. So that's why we kind of just put just Opie, just sound it out, sound the letter in the American English rather than Yoruba to make it a lot easier on people. So the shortened version of my name is Okpe, but I just go by Opie. And don't worry, you don't have to pronounce it like Okpe. I am completely okay with you saying Opie, as long as you don't compare me to that character on the Andy Griffith Show and also the character on Sons of Anarchy. I love Sons of Anarchy, but my name was not derived from there. It is derived from the Yoruba language, and it is Okpeyemi, but you can call me Opie. The other one said, where did I grow up? I was born in Nigeria, more specifically in Lagos, which is a huge city in Nigeria. It's like the New York City of the New York City of Nigeria, except for it's a lot smaller, but it's still a big city. I grew up there. I went to elementary school there and moved to the United States when I was 8 years old, when I then went to elementary school in the Bronx before moving up to upstate New York. And I ended up going to high school and even college right here in Orange County. I went to West Point for about 2 years before then transferring to Mount St. Mary, and then graduated from there in 2014. So most of my childhood, I would say, or most of my life now, has been based in the United States, even though I was born in Nigeria. My favorite childhood memory. Now, when I think of my childhood, I would say, I guess, when I was in Nigeria, only because, I feel like by the time you're about 10 or so, you're just getting more into your teenage years, which kind of your childhood is now, being behind you. So I guess my favorite childhood memory would have to be, I would have to look at a time when I was in Nigeria, and I would have to say it was when, after school, I would go to my mom's restaurant. My mom used to have a restaurant right on Allen Avenue in Lagos. It was always so busy, and I would just be there. I would make calendars and artwork and stuff like that, while all these customers would come and they'll just love my mom's food, and they'll say, oh, I have to go there, this is the only thing that I eat, I gotta take some home, I have to take some to work, and I'm just there. And then I remember I would sell my calendar that was not even correct in any way, every month, started on a Sunday. The first of every month was on a Sunday, and I would sell it, and all these people would still buy it because they're like, oh, look at this little cute kid selling us calendars that are not even efficient or correct. So I would say being able to have that artistic flair and people encouraging it and being supportive, that would be my favorite memory. All right, so the next question is, what is your fondest family memory? That one is so easy. Now, there could be two parts to this, but my fondest family memory is the day that my sister was born. For 13 years of my life, I was just an only child. And I remember the day my mom told me that she was pregnant, and I was just like, what? This is happening, because I spent so much of my time by myself that I just didn't think there would be a time where I would have a sibling. And honestly, anyone that knows how much I am so proud of the young woman that she is, and I'm just in awe of seeing her grow and become her own person. It's such a beautiful thing to be able to witness the growth of someone. I've seen her, I've carried her as a baby, I've had her on my back, I've taken her places and been so involved in her life. And then now seeing how she is and how she interacts with others, it's such a blessing. Sometimes it can make me cry, so I'm trying not to right now, but that would be my fondest family memory, because since the day that she was born, she's just been a blessing and a joy in our lives, and she is a go-getter. She's 16, but she's set on a goal and she's focused on it, and she does whatever it is she has to do to get it. And it's just an inspiring thing, and it's a beautiful thing to say, hey, that's my sister. That is someone that I've seen grown to be an amazing person that she is. So I would go as that is my fondest family memory. The next question in terms of memory says, what's a memory you look back on for inspiration? This one I find as not a tricky question, but the answer may be not what you expect. So sometimes inspiration can be when something inspires you, it's usually looked at as something that is positive, something that is that makes you feel good. But a memory that I look back on for inspiration is actually something that makes me it sounds weird, but makes me feel that reminds me of the lowest point of my life. There was a time where for a very long time in my life, I wouldn't say that I didn't know failure, but I was able to achieve things that I wanted to. So when it came to a point in my life when I experienced failure, it was so heart-wrenching. And I know for a very, very long time, way too long that it needed to be, I was in such a place of hurt and such a place of putting myself even further down than what that experience had put me in. Rather than finding a way to escape from this darkness, from this feeling of worthlessness at times, I almost seem to kind of find a way to use that as an excuse in which I can't escape, but now I have been given the opportunity, I've been given the strength and the ability to use that darkest point in my life, that point where I felt so much failure, and used it to fight through that. I don't want to feel like that anymore. I don't want to be in that situation where I feel this type of failure anymore. I don't want to. And it is that time and that period and that feeling, rather than the memory of what happened, but that feeling that inspires me to say, this is your life. You are in control of it. You cannot let that one experience, that one moment define everything that you want to accomplish, everything that you want for yourself, every goal that you want to achieve, that you still want to achieve, everything that you want to be. I can't let that one moment be the thing that defines how my life is going to turn out. Instead, I'm going to use it to feel that I don't want to feel that way anymore, and I'm going to succeed. I'm going to persevere. I'm going to be the woman that I envision myself to be. Um so rather than this inspiring person or thing, that feeling of failure is actually one of the things that pushes me to be a better person every day, to take control of my life, to take control of what I want to be, who I want to love, who I aspire to be, the house I want to live in, the car I want to drive, every single thing, every effort that I put into it, every work that I say, I'm waking up every day and I'm going after what I want, because this is not the life that I want to live based on a moment. I'm going to create the life that I want. So, in essence, that is the biggest, that is my most, that's what inspires me to be a better person and to go after what I want. One of the other questions I was asked was, what was my biggest pet peeve? I think a lot of my friends will, if they don't know yet, but a lot of people will let you know that I usually complain about shopping carts. That is my biggest pet peeve. When I see a shopping cart not in the, I don't even know what it's called, basically where it's supposed to be. I don't like seeing shopping carts just lingering. I don't like seeing, the worst is when there's no parking space and wherever you are, and you see a perfect parking space. You know that there's no car there. It's open and you're like, yes, this is perfect. It's close to the entrance. It's close to the exit. This is going to be beautiful. But of course, it's the day when it's very windy or it's raining or it's snowing, right? So this is just a perfect spot for you. You drive up there, you turn your signal to the left or the right, wherever you're going to turn into. And as you move inch closer to this parking spot, what do you see? A shopping cart. And then you're like, are you serious? Now, what do? Do you go around and find another parking spot? Or what I usually do, which is why I get even more upset, is that now I have to put my car in park, turn on the like the emergency light so that it's blinking, and then go there, move the shopping cart, take it away and put it where it's supposed to be, which is usually right next door or right next to that parking spot. Put it where it's supposed to be. Now get back into my car. I'm either shivering, I'm either wet, it's either snowing, whatever it is. And then I park my car and I go in. And in my head, I'm like cussing this person out. How could they do this? Why don't they care about other people? What kind of person does this? And then by the time I've already gotten to wherever I'm going, picking up my stuff, I get back in my car and I forget about the whole thing. But in that moment, that shopping cart is my biggest oppressor, you know? It's just like, come on. So that, in essence, that is my biggest pet peeve. So please, when you're going shopping, no matter how tired you are, if you're too tired to put the shopping cart back, don't even take a shopping cart. Hold everything in your hands. You know, just do like a sumo carry or something and go to your car. Don't even use a shopping cart. That way you don't have to put it away. That is the solution. But if you need a shopping cart, just put it back. You know, just a little, you know, just a little thing. Put back your shopping cart. All right, so let's go to the next question. Favorite meal to cook? I love to cook. I think that stems from my mom. And also, because I love to eat, I believe it's important that you should know how to cook. I think that is why my favorite meals to cook are usually the things that I like to eat. So my favorite foods to cook, mac and cheese, steak, and I love like a vegetable stir fry. So those are my favorite things. I love something that's quick and easy and delicious and just hits you with a hard punch and either just makes you pass out and you feel all warm and cozy, or something light like a stir fry veggie. I love those. So those would be my favorite meal to cook. What is something I'm obsessed with? Whew. That's a loaded question because I think I'm obsessed with a lot of things, but I think I'm obsessed with knowing people and understanding people. I get into people. I just want to know more about you. I want to find out how you tick. I'm obsessed with understanding people, with understanding how people operate. And I think that's always been why it's been I wouldn't say easy, but I'm very comfortable in situations where I don't even know anyone, in situations where it's just a new environment, unfamiliar environment. I'm very comfortable there because, well, I want to understand why you are the way you are. So that is something I'm obsessed with. Other than that, my obsession also includes mangoes. If you want to make me happy, if you think I'm feeling low or I look like I'm not having a good day, buy me a mango or 12. Whichever one you choose. That would also be my biggest obsession. Top 10 best purchases of all time. This is probably the only question that I kind of wrote down, only because it really took me a while I was like, how am I going to think about all these 10 things on the fly? So I wrote them down, so I'm just going to read them off to you. If there's anything that needs any explanation, you can let me know. Why is this, one of my best purchases? But here are top 10 that I could think of, but I'm pretty sure there's probably others that I just didn't mention in this video. My gym membership to IO Fitness, which is in Middletown, New York. I've been a member for 10 years now. No, over 10 years. One of the best gyms, family oriented. Like, you're just a family when you go there, and you know everyone has your best interests at heart. No one bothers you. There's no weird looks. Everyone is there to make everyone better. So I just love that intensity. Like, everyone's just focused on their goal. There's no BS. My favorite gym. Another one, OTR2 tickets, that is On the Run ticket, Beyonce and Jay-Z. I'm a huge Beyonce fan. I'm a huge Jay-Z fan as well, more Beyonce, but you know what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to put them together. That was a great concert. I had so much fun. And I think I was 4 rows down. Great energy. Everyone was into it. Loved it. Blistex chapstick, amazing. I think I get that all the time. Anyway, you want to have soft lips. You want to have lips that you want to kiss, because that's the best lips. So guess what? Blistex chapstick, no matter winter, summer, whatever, every time you got to make sure you have soft lips. My Michael Kors backpack. I've had this backpack for about 5 years now. I've done so much, like, it just goes with me everywhere. It fits everything. It's perfect. Like, I never even think about, oh, am I losing anything, because everything is right there. And it's durable, it's durable. So because sometimes I feel so bad for it. I'm like, oh my gosh, how could I do this? But it is a durable backpack, and I've had it for such a long time now. Books for my sister. I love getting books for my sister because she enjoys it. I love seeing her face when she gets more books from me, or if she requests something. Those are always a great purchase. Anytime that I buy workout clothes. I love buying workout clothes. There's nothing, like, one of the good feelings is having a new workout clothes. You put it on, you go in the gym and you sweat it out, you put it to practice, like, look at this. And you feel so good and you feel empowered. And even when you're lacking motivation, you're like, do you see my outfit? Do you see how good this looks? And then you kill the workout. My phone, yes, my phone is a great purchase. I've used this phone for so many things, from pictures to videos like this one I'm recording right now. It serves so much purpose to me because that is what I love, to create things. I love to take pictures. When I'm with friends, I'm the picture taker. I'm the photographer. So my phone is definitely one of my best purchases, and it served me well. My calendar that I write every single little detail on is a great purchase. It keeps me organized. It keeps me focused on what I need to do. And now I'm being more diligent about putting those little details, because when I do, I don't miss out, and I'm not nervous that, oh man, I forgot something. So it definitely helps me reduce that. My candles, I love candles. One of my favorite that I tried a few months ago was this lavender candle by Aesthetics by Aaliyah. It was amazing, and it had like actual lavender in it. It smelled amazing, calmed me down, perfect before bedtime. Nothing better than turn it on as soon as you get home, taking a shower, getting everything prepped, and then turn it off before you go to bed, and then just falling asleep in that just calmness. Definitely candles. And then the last one I have on this list is a book called Die Empty: Unleash Your Best Work Every Day by Todd Henry. I read that book about 1.5 years ago, and it was basically a book that I needed at the time that I read it. amazing book, and it basically talks about dying empty. Don't die with your purpose, your ambition, and everything in you. Use it. Let's use your gift. Stop being afraid to go after what you want. Stop being afraid of using your creativity. It's not about what will people think, but how do you feel? How do you feel about your life and what you want to do and how you want to live your life? It's not about other people. It's not about how it should be done, what's been set in stone, because you have the power to use your gift. So we need to stop holding ourselves back. Sometimes we are our biggest enemy in, doing what we need to do. So those are my 10 best purchases of all time so far. Who inspires you? I am blessed to be inspired by my whole family. So my whole family as a unit inspires me. My dad, my mom, my sister, they all inspire me in their own way. My mom is the hard worker, go-getter. She will, if there's a task that needs to be done, she will get it done. She will get it done. And that inspires me. And I can't be tired. I can't be overtired, because if I have a goal that I want to achieve, then I need to make sure that I'm on top of it. Instead of letting anything stop me, I have to go after it. My dad, preparedness, getting information, knowing everything about everything. That man knows it all. You want to learn how to play soccer? He will basically go get all the handbook, get everything, even if he's never played soccer, but he did play soccer. But teaching you, he would get the books, he would get the equipment, everything you need, and he'd be like, okay, here's our schedule. I can still remember, I was 9 years old, and I was like, I want to play soccer. By the next day, we had cones, I had my soccer cleats, I had shin guards, I had a practice worksheet. We were out there, I was running, I was doing drills, everything. And when I tried out for soccer, like in middle school, I was prepared. I was like, oh, I've been doing this for a while now. So like, if there's something that you want to do, my dad will find a way to learn everything about it and then make sure that you are prepared. He is the preparedness person, and he would get you set up to do what you need to do. And that inspires me. You got to be always prepared, and you always have to be willing to learn. Every book in our house, I'm pretty sure 95% of the books in our house is owned by him, because it is about any subject he's curious about. If he's curious about how to be an astronaut, you'll find a book about how to be an astronaut, and he will know all the details and all the people that you need to know or have in your in your memory to be able to achieve that. My sister, she inspires me by being a go-getter herself. She's focused, and she has not let anything deter her from her dreams. She wants to be this, so she's going to make sure that she is prepared to be this. She doesn't fluctuate with her. She's not like, oh, maybe today I'm going to be, maybe. No, she knows what she wants, and she is going to get it because she's been focused, laser focused on what she wants and how she's going to get there. So my whole family and their persistence, their education, their ability to learn, all that things inspire me to be a better person myself. This question here is favorite travel destination. My favorite travel destination. I can't wait to travel more. Let me start that. I can't wait to explore more places and to be able to then, actually know, even more places, to have a harder ability to pick a favorite place. But my favorite place as of now is definitely Paris. Paris has been something in the back of my mind since I was a young girl. And when I was able to study abroad and actually be there for 5 months, it gave me a new insight, a better insight, other than just being a tourist in which you're there for maybe a week or two and just kind of seeing just a little glimmer. Being able to see everyday life, being able to experience Paris in the eyes of people that live there, was so wonderful. And even just on the outskirts of Paris was Versailles. And Versailles is probably my favorite place in Paris, even though it's on the outskirts of Paris to visit, because the Hall of Mirrors is such a beautiful place, the gardens. And I experienced it at a point where there was maybe like 4 people in the whole establishment. I was able to see it in different cycles. There was a time where there was barely anyone there, and then there was a crowded tourist season, and there's such a huge contrast when you're able to see those things without everybody packed in. You're able to actually see the beauty, and those gardens were magnificent. And also, it also opened my eyes that, you know, things are not as glamorous as they seem. I think one of my biggest, I won't say my biggest disappointment, but one of the things I was like, oh, for real? This is it? Oh, was the Mona Lisa. For some reason, I thought it would be this grand, big painting. And then to see it was like 8x11, okay, a little bit bigger than 8x11. So to see it just be that size, and then not only that, encased in the glass, and then not only that, have 4 feet between the painting and actually being close to it, only to be then barricaded by like, I forgot what those things are called, by like not a ribbon, but just something to kind of make sure people don't go into that area. That was, I was just like, oh, okay, from a distance then. Hi, Mona Lisa. But then you realize there's so much more amazing things in the Louvre, in that museum, that's greater than Mona Lisa. Nike goddess. I'm forgetting the name of the sculpture right now. I want to say it's Les Samothas, but I think I may be wrong. But that one was beautiful to see, or seeing Napoleon's apartment. That was gorgeous. So those things are what I'm so blessed to have experienced. And of course, like, if anyone ever wants to go to Paris, just be like, hey, Opie, you want to? Yes. It's always going to be yes. I want to go to Paris. It doesn't matter. But I'm excited to view and venture into other places too, and see other places that are wonderful and beautiful in their own light. I think traveling is such an experience that not everyone gets to have, but if you can, it enlightens you and it broadens your horizon, not just about people, but just about the world and what is just around us, what we're surrounded by. It's such a beautiful thing. So if you're able to experience it, even if it's just going to a state over, 2 states over, exploring your neighborhood, exploring outside of it and going beyond, it's so important for our growth and for our understanding as human beings on this earth. Okay, we're down to 3 questions. How did you get into makeup? Makeup has been part of my life, I would say, a little bit started in college, and then outside of that, I think I've always been involved in some type of creative expression throughout my life. Some, not even makeup, just art expression has been in my life in some way or form. When I was in high school, it was photography. And then there was a time where I did musical theater, like my senior year of high school. There was writing, there was poetry. So there are times where I needed to express myself in some way. When I got into college, that fell into makeup. It came from just doing like a liner. And that was it. Like, when I look back at pictures, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I doing? There was a time where I pretty much like took off all my eyebrows, and I thought that's how I was supposed to do it. And I started to just practice. A lot of people would ask me, oh, how many YouTube videos? Did you watch this? I'm like, I actually didn't watch, I didn't watch YouTube videos in that sense. The only person that I actually watch, who I learned how to do eyebrows from, was Jenny Jenkins. I think that was the only makeup person that I ever watched. And this is going on, I want to say, almost 10 years now. So when I maybe like, but almost 10 years. So not up to 10 years, but getting close to that. And that was the only video that I really remember myself. And I think I saw, oh, well, our complexion's a little similar. And I used that to get like one of my first foundation. And then after that, I started to just kind of pick things on my own. I was like, well, this foundation is close to this foundation. And I just started playing and experimenting. There was a time where I did like 100 days of makeup, where I would just do a different design or some type of look. I never put myself into a box into making it always glam or making it always neutral. It was just a form of me just enjoying my face and my hands and what I wanted to do, and just expressing how I felt or what I wanted to try, and not being afraid of trying it. So makeup just be part of me expressing myself. How did you get into fitness, weight training? I've been blessed to be involved in some type of fitness since, well, let's be more clear. I didn't get into sports and everything until maybe after we moved to the United States. I really got into sports in middle school. So growing up, maybe I ran with my dad a few times in Nigeria, but I was never really sports oriented. I actually didn't have a lot of coordination. And when we moved up here, I decided to try out for the soccer team. I decided to try out for all these sports teams, even though I didn't even know how to really play them. Basketball, I learned in 7th grade when I went to try out for the basketball team. When I tried out for track and field, it became natural for me to do that, because then I was doing basketball and I said, oh, you know what? Track and field is going to be a great way for me to keep in shape before the basketball season. I wanted to be in the WNBA. I had Michael Jordan on my wall. I was going to do all that. But then my love became track and field running, the feeling of beating the competition, of working so hard and getting to that point where you learn about how to move your body in the right way so that your speed is as the best that it can be. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the competition, even though I didn't like practice. So that was a privilege that I was able to have at that point. And one of the privileges that allowed me to have is to then be coached by this amazing coach my year on the track and field team at West Point. I was able to meet this coach, Coach Canute, and he introduced us, well, we had to weight train, and he introduced us to Olympic weightlifting. And that was the first time where I knew that I could probably squat more than 45 pounds in general, or even 45s on each side. But he's taught us Olympic lifting, how to move, how lifting can actually increase your power, how to move. Like, it was just, that was my introduction to weightlifting. You know, of course we had weight class in middle school, but I don't feel that it gives you the detail or the importance of it in movement and speed. You know, you think of it as strength, you just get stronger or bulky, but weightlifting, you know, is not just about, it's not bulking, you know, it's getting strong, it's getting fast, it's being powerful. And those were the things that I was taught through that. And I saw that my speed increased, you know, even if because I became a thrower. From sprinting, I became a thrower. And I realized that sprinters would be amazing throwers. If they got strong and the speed that they have, oh my gosh, you'd be an amazing thrower. So I started to learn all these things, and I didn't realize how beautiful weightlifting was until I was introduced to that. And when I was introduced to that, I fell in love with it. And it's definitely something that I will hold and have as part of my life forever, because it has given me the opportunity to bring out my best self. I'm not even at my best yet, you know. This is not my final form. Okay. So you know, it inspires you to want to just keep going and being stronger and being faster and being more powerful. And that's how I got into this level of fitness and weight training that I am in. And the last question. Are you guys ready for the last question? The last question, what made you want to start your own talk show? I thought that was a perfect question to end this segment. What made me want to start my own talk show? February 16th, I came out with a video and I said, hey, you know what? Today is a day that I'm just going to tell you that I want to start this thing, and I'm going to do it, and it's going to start next Tuesday. I just basically said it. However, while that was the day that I finally had the last push and I told myself to stop holding myself back and just go after what I want, it has been something in the back of my head. Now, not just talk show in general, but just hosting, just being able to gather voices together in a room and talk and learn from each other and share knowledge and gain knowledge. That is something that I've always been interested in, but not anything that I've actually worked to pursue or to get better at. I've always enjoyed public speaking. I've always enjoyed being in the front of people and just moving the room along. I've always been someone who at a, can take control of a room, can come into a room and, again, as I mentioned before, be comfortable in that room and not feel not only just not about feeling left out, but be able to take control of the room. That's always been a person that I was. And then there came a certain point where I felt I understood that power, but I was scared. I was scared of that power. I was scared of the ability of that ability that I have, because that ability also meant that I had so much responsibility, that this responsibility that I didn't know if I was up to. Am I worth it? Am I worth all these responsibility and this power and this thing that people believe that I also have? I've heard it said before, I know what people say or what some may perceive about me, but am I worthy of these things that people perceive me as? And this is where I say that we can sometimes be our biggest enemy. I found myself holding myself and my worth and my gift back because I didn't think I was worthy enough of it. But I think our subconscious, who we really are, who we're trying to be, sometimes is always fighting who we are, who it wants to be. We want to be this thing. And even though we deviate from it, even though we try to fight it, our subconscious is fighting harder. It's saying, no, this is what I want for you. This is where you're supposed to be. You need to do this. And I think that's part of my overthinking process too. But where it works in my favor is that I start thinking about, okay, how am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? How am I going to do it? But there's a point where it has to be, just do it. Stop trying to figure out this perfect formula of how to do it. Just do it. And if you don't get it right, then guess what? You figure out a way to make it right. You figure out a way to make it better. You learn from it. So I think I reached a point where I said to myself that I need to stop holding myself back from being this powerful person that I am, from being a person that can control a room, from being a person that can speak up and say what needs to be said. I need to just be myself. And those who understand it, who appreciate it, who know what it is, they're not going to be fearful of it. They're not going to be scared of it. They're going to know this is what it's supposed to be. And they will support you no matter what. If it's right, they will support you. And those who are intimidated or think a certain way about you or don't see it that way, it's okay for them not to, because those are not the people that you even want supporting you. Why would you want someone that doesn't believe in you in your support group? It doesn't work out. So I remember I actually said this, which I thought was a great question, because this question came up with Jocelyn Catley, one of my amazing guests, and she had asked me that question. I remember telling her the story, and I said, I remember getting ready for my 10-year high school reunion, and I was looking through this, my high school yearbook that I haven't even looked at in so many years, and I remember just opening it. This was about almost 2 years ago. And I opened it, and we have a section where it basically says like your most fondest memories, your favorite quote, and then where you see yourself, or what do you see yourself in years to come or in the future goals or something like that. And at the time where I was graduating high school, I expected that what I had written was probably like future lawyer or military lawyer or something like that, because at that time when we had to send in those things for our yearbook, those were the things that were my goals, and those were where I was going. I was going to go here, I was going to graduate here, and I was going to be a lawyer and all that stuff. But my passion, what I really wanted, started to grow as I got older. But what I realized in my future goals, I wrote talk show host, Oprah. Like I said, I think that's basically it. I was like, that's what I want to do. And I remember looking at that and thinking to myself, wait, what? Like, how did I even, that was my subconscious kind of telling me, like, you've always wanted to do this. You just didn't think you were capable of doing it. So why I started this talk show is because I believe I'm capable of commanding a room. It's because I'm capable of starting a conversation. It's because I'm capable of bringing people together, sharing new ideas, and gaining knowledge, and bringing people together because of our love of community, our love of people, and our love of growing. And that is why I decided that I'm going to do this, and I'm going to share my gift, and I'm going to share myself with you. And it's been a blessing to be able to do that so far, and I am so excited to see where this journey is going to take me. And I just believe it's going to be the beginning of something greater, something better, and something beneficial, something positive, that I can leave this world and I can die empty, because I know that I am doing everything that I love, everything that I want to do every single day of my life. And that's why we are here at Tuesday Talks with Opie. That's me. I want to thank you all for listening to this 45-minute, way longer than I thought it would be. But thank you for being here and getting to know me. I hope that I've given you a little bit more insight into who I am, and I am excited to have you on this journey. And I hope that you continue to, join me on this journey. Until next time,